Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a good day or whenever you've seen this video. Well, I got some not so good news for the Nigerians from Africa. Nigerians from you probably heard a couple things that's happened with this ban. But here we're gonna play some video.
We start with President Trump's renewed focus on immigration after that deadly ambush in D.C. In a social media post, the president now threatening to ban people from what he has called third world countries. He's vowing to deport anyone who is, quote, incapable of loving our country or non-compatible with Western civilization. On top of that, Trump directed a U.S. immigration agency to conduct a sweeping review of people with green cards from so-called countries of concern.
As you heard there, President Trump in a plan to pause all form of migration from third world country, including Nigeria. This video, I will explain the implication for you and me as Nigerians. Why Trump say he want to? We know say a few days ago there was sad shooting in America. Okay, we know say two American National Guard were shot, and sadly, one of them has been reported killed. The person will kill this person now. Now somebody will say America allow into their country, they grant asylum under the Trump administration. This is the man, Rahimullah Lukamu. He came to the US under Biden's administration. This was one of the people who said he helped American CIA and their security agent. When they want go back, and they say, I mean, they reward the guy when they bring him enter America. That is why they say, be careful who you call your friend, because first of all, if he laugh with you, if he get interior motives. Now, when we hear what Trump talk this evening after this thing, Trump he said, I will permanently pause migration from all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover, terminate all the millions of Biden's illegal admission, including those signed by Sleepy Joe autopilot, and remove anyone who is not a net asset to the United States or is incapable of loving our country, and all federal benefit and subsidy to non-citizens of our country. Denaturalize, this one strong, migrants who undermine domestic tranquility and deport any foreign national who is a public charge, security risk, or not compatible with Western civilization. Now that denaturalize, and it shake me, because even if we get paper, Trump saying will go after them. You see, this one talking say Trump vow to permanently pause migration from third world country. We know say our country, Nigeria, now third world. Why should you care for this story? Now make I show you very, very important information. I want to make you write this thing down. This number here, write down down. This is 20 billion. This is 30.85 billion. Why does this matter? I will show you at the end of this video why you need to pay attention to this. Okay? Now, let us look now. We know say Nigeria, my country, is one of the 10th country we say man, they enter Yankee. Thousands of Nigerian students, workers, family could be affected by waiting Trump. Waiting concern me and you, I will explain that to you just now. Green card holders are not spared under Trump's review for waiting in talk. Say he want to, okay? Now let us now look at what is at stake for Nigerians. We know that the attack was carried out by somebody who say he enter Yankee, he get paper, now he carried out. Person who say America give video, and he come from somebody country that is regarded as a third world country like my country. To understand the impact, we need to look at the context. Migration policy, even for UK, most Western countries have been changing since the last few years. It's becoming more difficult to migrate, and things like this they help the matter for those where we say they want migrate. Trump say he go permanently pause. Those who won't come America, including green card holders, will be reviewed according to Trump. Now, this is where it now get important. This is where it could affect me and you. We know say students, they wait for visa. Shalom.
Woo. What? This, it's a pretty sad day and it's coming soon. But they're going right down the line of different groups of people from these different countries. And this backs up his video.
Conclude. I do have one more live coming up.
Hold on.
In your home country is scam. But I've heard them say that on videos that, oh, black Americans are just mad because they know how to play the system and we're so stupid we don't know how to play the system. Well, yeah, you done played the system to the point where they're deporting your ass. And keep making them videos. I promise you, ICE, when they come out there and get a hold of you Somalians, they gonna jack your asses up. Y'all keep putting them videos out. You'll see. You will soon see. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
I got one more video after this one.
Well, it looks like Trump's favour towards Nigerians was short-lived, wasn't it? I mean, can you imagine? America just cancelled 85,000 visas in total. Tens of thousands of which were Nigerian visa holders, right? Who are now barred from entry. And whilst they weren't citizens, they were people who thought their visa made them safe. They got no warning, no refund, no appeal. And this included students, parents, skilled workers, Christians. Yeah, I said it. The same group who he claimed to care so much about just cut off. And it wasn't just Nigerians, right? Other African and Caribbean nationals are facing similar restrictions. Places like Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, whole countries, including Cuba, Venezuela, and many others, right, getting shut out quietly. The US said it was about security, criminal offences, visa overstays, suspected threats. But some say that this is about tightening who gets in and who gets kept out. Beyond just safety, right, the US is picking who stays in the room. And I guess we're always first to go anyway, aren't we? And what makes it worse, right, some of the same Nigerians in the diaspora who campaigned for Trump, called him uncle, and now watching their own uncle get kicked out. And it's not just visas, right? The US has also tightened its travel ban system. Nigeria is now on the list for partial entry. That means that travellers can be barred from entering even before a visa is issued, or unless they fall under a really narrow scope of exceptions, right? So what's the lesson here? First and foremost, I would always say try to build at home where possible, right? I know it's not always realistic, not with these currencies, not with these governments, these living costs. So if you're going to apply to travel, do it with strategy, right? And not just hope. Look for countries that offer a real path to residency, not just a 2-year visa and a pat on the head. Ghana, Barbados, Portugal, if it fits your situation, right? Rwanda, Mauritius. Build a long-term plan, not a getaway plan. And if you're already abroad, try not to move like a visitor. Move like someone building their future, right? That means legal routes, the kind that protects you when things flip, right? That could be a second passport, if you're eligible, that is, or regional stays. study to stay programs, remote income that isn't tied to location, whatever gives you like any atom of actual security, not just a stamp. Guys, in this economy, plan Bs aren't luxuries anymore, they're lifelines, because the visa gets you in, but it won't keep you safe. Anyway, talk to me in the comment section. What are your thoughts on this?
Wondering if you can e-file if you owe taxes? This edition of Tax Tips by TurboTax will explain how you...
What are your thoughts on this?
December 16, 2025, let's talk about this major breaking news, and this is coming from the President of America, President Donald Trump, as he has given a directive for the suspension of the issuance of B1, B2 visa, student visa, which is the F and M visa, and also the exchange visa, which is the J visa. And according to reports, this is due to the fact that there is high level of insecurity in Nigeria, the Boko Haram and the Islamic State operating freely in certain parts of Nigeria. As you all know what has been going on between the US and Nigeria lately, and we saw President Trump, put Nigeria as a country of particular concern a couple of weeks ago because of the high level of insecurity. And right now, and also visa overstay. So according to the report from the White House, Nigeria has a total of 5.56% as regards B1, B2 visa, while for the F and M visa and J visa overstay rate is 11.90%. So right now, all of these classes of visa have been suspended. So which means that they give visa to those classes anymore. And right now, President Trump has instructed the consular officers to reduce the validity of any other non-immigrant visa. You all know my stand when it comes to the level of insecurity in Nigeria. And at the end of the day, most of the politicians and their family members will not be affected by this. Most of their kids have dual citizenship. Now look at someone that is planning to come to the US to study. Even if you have GA right now or scholarship, you will not be given visa. The Nigerian government should do better as regards insecurity.
Breaking news here. The worst is happening to Nigeria. Africa is in a mess. I don't know what's going on, but what I know is America is rejecting Nigeria. Canada has rejected Nigeria. UK has rejected Nigerians. And even some country in Africa, they are pushing back on Nigerians. Few months ago, or about a few weeks ago, I warned the consequences of what Canada just did to Nigeria. Visa restriction on Nigerians, travel restriction on Nigerians, and some other part of Africa. When it happens to one, it happens to all. Africa must wake up. Nigeria must wake up. Nigeria is. So recently, about a few days ago, I received a news, and as I was just reading through the internet, and I make a few phone calls, I realized that the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria is canceling visas. It's canceling visas. Business visa, private visa, student visas. So what it means is, after you have been given a visa, and you have probably booked your flight, the embassy will call you, and they will cancel your visa. And for those that have traveled as you are landing in the United States, you are returned back to Nigeria. This is a mess. This is a mess. Some folks are on the internet. They are laughing about this. They are joking about it. But let me draw our attention to something. If you don't put your house in order, you can be returned rejected by anybody from anywhere at any time without prior notice. Few months ago, I made a presentation here that says, no matter how rich you are, how successful you are as an individual, as long as you are an African, black race, not until Africa is fixed, not until Nigeria is fixed, not until your country is fixed, not until we collectively succeed together, you have no foundation anywhere in the world. You have no relevance anywhere in the world. All this visa cancellation is not because these people don't have money. So in other words, money has failed. And I told us here that a time will come where money will fail. Your influence will fail. Your political position will fail. Every other thing will fail. The only thing that Africa needs to do is to build Africa. Invest in Africa. Invest in human capacity development. And once that is done, we will be able to build the environment. And that is when our visas will no longer be cancelled. This is not to blame the United States or Canada or UK or any other country that will follow suit. It is a wake-up call. Africans are bothered. They are worried because they are asked to stay at home. Why are you bothered? Why are you worried? Because you can't solve your own problem. You can't figure out how to travel within Africa. You can't open borders so that there will be trade within Africa. Yeah. America will not solve Nigerian problem. Russia won't solve Nigerian problem. China won't solve Nigerian problem. If you run to France, France will not solve Nigerian problem. They won't solve African problems. Decade ago, China was nothing. Nobody want to even have anything to do with China. But the moment they make up their mind to build their nation, the moment they make up their mind to invest in their nation, just a few days ago we see the parade that they just did, the military parade. And we see the power they display, how they are explaining to the world without saying a word. Because they took time to invest, to build. Building is hard, it's difficult. But the only option for you to be respected across the nations of the world is to build. There is no two routes to this, no two way about it. Running away from Africa will not make you respected. Becoming anything, engineer, doctors, maybe a business tycoon, like some of them that have, we have airplanes in the world, we have airports, we've built airports, we've done so many things, breakthrough, individual breakthrough. But all of those things really mean nothing. Look at Russia. They stood together, they built their nation. Look at Japan. They built it. Today, Africa, we need to come together. Get away with entertainment. All the things that is being done on social media to make us just excited and abandon our building. We need to slow down on entertainment and focus on how can we build. And we must stop destroying ourselves internally. You cannot be building and be destroying at the same time.
It's pretty crazy how clean and how bright everything is here at Uline. You really...
Wow. But check this out, what this Nigerian immigrant said to this guy on this. Shout out to Ant, I think his name is CEO.
I'm sick and tired of hearing a lot of people saying things about black people this, Africa this, and that. Let's get some facts straight. If you hate Africa so much, that's fine. But Don't try to find out where your ancestors are from. It's okay. You're born here. Accept that. We accept that too. But we never force our narratives on you that are over here or people who claim to be born over here. That's fine. But you guys find it so okay and normal to talk nonsense and say stupid things about Africans or the people that migrated from Africa to the United States like it's the end of the world for them. Listen, let me tell you something you don't understand. Just because we come over here to adventure into things does not make us less of who we are. You should be actually grateful for the fact that Africans come over to the United States or to the other countries to help liberate you guys from the things you don't even know. Okay? It's just like in the Bible, like when God told Adam and Eve not to eat the forbidden fruit. I'll put it this way. We are the forbidden fruit. There's a lot of things you guys didn't know existed until we started coming here. If we didn't come here, some of you wouldn't even have that mindset to be trying to endeavor in different type of businesses. I'm not saying you guys haven't been doing that for a while, but at the same time, we are the evolution of you, not the other way around.
What? I'm gonna try to remember everything he said. The first thing he said, if y'all notice, he said people who claim to be born here. First he said, oh, the people who are here, and then he said, or who claim to be here, or people who are born here who claim to be born here. What do you mean claim to be born here? We're here. We've been here for hundreds of years. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And then he said where your ancestors come from. I don't think a lot of Africans realize that Black Americans can trace our ancestral lineage farther than y'all can. Like, I'm in the early 1800s right now. That's where I'm in. I'm in like the 1810s right now with my ancestral lineage. So most of y'all can't trace your lineage back. Some of y'all don't even have birth certificates. Some of y'all they didn't even have paperwork in the 1800s for your homelands. You can't trace your lineage back 200 years. You can't trace your lineage back 300 years. A lot of Black Americans can. We can trace our lineages back hundreds and hundreds of years. You can't. All you can do is put your saliva on a piece of paper and believe 23andMe whenever they tell you where you come from. Which isn't true. I don't even know why y'all people believe that. They said a frog was from the Congo. So somebody put it in a saliva thing, the thing said that a frog was from the Congo. Because they assumed that it was the human's DNA. So it's all cap. They lying anyway. But y'all idiots eat that up. But then they said, teach us how to run businesses. Do I really even have to address that? Do I really even have to address Black people not running businesses? So Africans taught Black Americans, or Africans are showing Black Americans how to run businesses? Okay, let's go with that rhetoric. Why are y'all not running businesses in your homeland then? If y'all run all these successful businesses, then where are the businesses in your homeland? Why can't you stay in your homeland and run a successful business? Make that make sense to me. Are there more soul food restaurants, or are there more Nigerian food restaurants in America? So I'm confused. Are there more Nigerian, or let's just do Africa? Are there more African barbershops in America, or are there more Black American barbershops in America? That's just barbershops and food. Let's do clothes. Are there more Black American clothing stores in America that are actually ran and operated and owned by Black Americans, or more African? Sure, numbers, let's not even, do we really have to break that down? Do we really? Do we really?
I'm going to say this. The arrogance what this guy just said was just totally ridiculous. And this is the reason why this stuff is happening. And this is why, I've heard content creators say why Black Americans want to delineate, basically withdraw and say, no, since you claim you are your country and you're not, but even though you can claim your country, but now you starting to see that it has nothing to do with your education, how hard you work, because that's a very common thing that what I heard from some of the video, and that basically act like it has. Someone had the nerve to say that we don't even know who our fathers is. They have got that arrogant to the point. And this is what causing the division between the black.
Really?
Because the whites are over there still playing that card on your head. The businesses. I'm not saying you guys haven't been doing that for a while, but at the same time, we are the evolution of you, not the other way around. Because the whites are over there still playing that card on your head all the time. But guess what? We show in within a year, we get in houses, buying cars, feeding numerous family members, starting businesses. Should I continue? There's a lot of African businesses out there that employ black Americans. Regardless of their backgrounds, they still give them jobs. But some of you are over here easily bashing people that you don't even know about. Some of you find it easy to say, oh, you African booty scratcher, you this, you that. What about you? If we have to choose to call you a certain name, you'll be so depressed easily. We don't get depressed. We don't.
First of all, the whole we own businesses and we employ y'all. There are more black American businesses than African businesses in the U.S., and there are more black Americans who employ Africans than the other way around. I don't even want to get into that, though. Let's not even get into that. Because that's so laughable. That's such a laughable argument. It's just like, it's not even a point to even get into. But then he got into the whole African booty scratchers. Let me explain something to you Africans real quick, and you Caribbeans. There's a thing that we do in black American culture. It's called roasting. We're going to roast you if you're fat, if you're ugly, if your clothes dirty, if your hairline fucked up, if you stink, if whatever. We're going to roast you. That's what we do. If you go to different parts in the U.S., they call it roasting. They call it joning. I think they do that in the South. They call it flaming. They like, I'm about to get on your ass. That's a form of culture. And if you understood your history, you would understand that the reason why people did that was to prepare yourself of all of that's going to happen when you actually go out in the world. Because back in the day, a lot of white people would treat black Americans in a negative way, talk about you crazy, mess with you, bully you. So that was a way to kind of get, we roast each other as a way to kind of become immune to that talking. That's why that was culture created. Black Americans created a lot of culture through struggle, unfortunately, but fortunately because we still have those cultures still to this day. And people, they've literally made TV shows off of that. Remember that show Yo Mama? You can go to YouTube and type in roast me. Like, we actually do things based on our culture. We actually make our culture work, and people make millions. There are million and billion-dollar industries based on Black American culture. But see, a lot of you Africans come over to America, and then you get caught an African booty scratcher in the 4th grade, and then you be 32, still talking about I got caught an African booty scratcher, and if we called you names, you would be depressed. No, we wouldn't. Y'all call us Akata, y'all call us Jadiers, y'all call us Yanks, y'all call us all type of names. The problem is, when we call y'all names, us calling y'all a name is just out of talking. Y'all call us names out of hatred. We don't fucking hate Africans. I don't like tethers. But no, when all the Africans was coming over to America after 1964, what communities did they go to? They went to black American communities. They went to black schools. They went in our area. And they were able to thrive. And they were able to operate and exist. If we was just these hateful people that didn't accept y'all wouldn't have nowhere to go. You'd be back at home eating a mosquito salad. You'd be back at home laying on a bed of cow dung. You want to talk about, oh, I got caught an African booty scratcher. And I used to get talked all the time when I was in high school and middle school. Everybody did.
Yeah, but I did
Everybody
too.
got talked on them. Everybody.
I did too.
That taught you learn how to roast back. Okay. You look like your mama, whatever.
Right.
You look like blah, 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 blah. Like, we shit talk to each other. You do that at recess. You still talking about some from the 4th grade? Everybody that's watching this video right now had somebody roast them before. Every single one of y'all got roasted before in some way, some type of style. You got roasted before. Everybody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it be funny.
Right.
And and we get over it. It's not a love. It's not out of hatred, but y'all don't understand that because y'all don't do that in your homelands. You don't understand the culture of America, and you would think that you would because you coming over here, but y'all don't understand the culture of America. Let's keep going. Let's keep dispelling these points that's being made because this is insane.
What about you? If we have to choose to call you a certain name, you'll be so depressed easily. We don't get depressed. We don't. We just sit there, find a way to move on from it. And that's why we believe we are mentally strong. We don't play on all this emotional stuff like every other person play over here. We get knocked down, we get up, we move. Now you're talking about the SS show. Where were all the black Americans when they were selling it or trying to look for board members? None of you wanted to buy it until the Nigerian and the Kenya decided to step in to take over that. And still yet, you hate on it, but guess who attended it more? Yeah, you. yeah, so some of you over there.
I don't know why Africans screech up their voice like that. Well, to a point, he's correct. Black Americans, we need to stop selling this stuff that's ours. He's not lying with that. That's true. I can be honest when I'm being honest. They sold it. Black Americans sold it to an African, and that's why the Essence Fest is fucked up now. That's why it's fucking lame. That's why it's goofy as. That's why the last Essence Fest is. That's why all this stuff is going on right now because unfortunately a Black American sold it to a fucking African, and look what it turned into. So this is the part of the delineation and the gatekeeping that we need to have. When we have something that is specifically foundationally us, we need to keep it. We can't let these other people tether onto it. We can't on one end. And I know it's not us as in the people that are, it's not us because we're not the ones who sold it. It was one person. But what I'm saying is, as a collective, we need to make sure we don't do that because that's what those things are going to turn into. So we can't, one person on one end can't say, oh, well, these Africans taking over, but then you sold the product to them for them to use and abuse it, which they're going to use and abuse it. So, we can't do that. So at least up to that point, I can concede and be honest about it until say he's correct about that. Unfucking fortunately, he's correct about that.
I saw some of you over that, but you're pretending, talking nonsense. You ever want to try out the fufu you can get? Guess what? We don't eat all this burger. We don't do all that. We eat real food. That's why when you get physical and somebody knocks you out like one blow 7 apples, you're going to get some. So the truth hurts.
What?
You're talking about your ancestors. You're talking about you not being from Africa. Some of you don't even know your great-grandfather's last name.
See what this shit, yeah.
Your best ideas, worthless. If you don't know.
And this is the reason why, there's a tension between, because there's some black people in the black community, feel kind of, hey, when you come at with this insult like that, saying some things you don't know nothing about. You don't know the whole story. And this is the reason what caused the division between black Americans and some Africans, because some of them that come over here with that mindset. And I have personally seen in the church how some of them have an ego arrogance. The pastor be okay. The pastor don't carry it, but I would see some of the members carry that same spirit. That they just think they better than you, or they don't really want to associate with you, and so they practically basically separate themselves. So black Americans separate themselves, and so this would cause the division between some, and the Nigerians was one. But sadly, there are other groups from different countries in Africa. They're not like that. I met other Africans that from other countries that didn't carry on like some. I have met some of the Nigerians. I have met people from different parts of Africa came here to Ohio, and you get a few person that you get one once in a while, but there are some places, and this don't pertain to all. They'll punish the whole continent, because you see that they're not even, some of these Nigerians and Somalians are not even welcoming in other African countries because of the ego and the attitude that they have. I mean, and they say in South Africa and Kenya and other places, and like the Somalis, they carry the same spirit, and like they better than somebody. You on someone else's land, And then you see that they went at it with the Ghanaians in Ghana. Yeah, and the Ghanaians kicked their butt and kicked them out. And you see him going at it with the Ghanaians in Ghana because they start taking over and doing things like that. So this is what the man in the previous video was trying to say. That when these people when they get an ego, they get this and now you're starting to see like America and these other countries, they're putting their foot to the ground and execute and writing law to get you up out of here. And this is going to be hump. And then I've seen the results when they land back into Nigeria. Some of them, it's the shock has wore off. And why would you come up to any land where South Africa, Kenya, America, Canada, and start thinking that you're better than some people because you start throwing out these things like you made something great when people already in those countries like America have always been great. You don't know the whole our story here over here. And we allow some, and not only that they came to the black community, they probably came to black universities under the name. And probably in some black fraternities in America. And this is the reason why some black Americans delineate from Africans. This is why some over here don't really, and I've seen this personally. I was at a church function here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and I was wondering why, like, one of these church members didn't want to come over, and and they gave the person food. Said, "I don't want this. I don't want. We don't want." They just hurry up and drop their food off. They didn't stay in a jet, but they don't see the blessings of some black Americans that choose to be around them. In the meantime, the pastor wondering why he can't get more people to fill the church. And even though you go out there and bring people in, but it's that once people see how they are, they don't see the Christ lovers in them. They know about religion. They know about being Christian. But they put on a face. I seen it myself. And then when the Bible's closed, some of them really show who they really are. So this is the reason why some black Americans, and I've seen this in church, that's how they're able to get next to some Nigerians. That's why I said a lot of these videos, what the brother showed, I've seen it personally. Just being in fellowship with them. In the Lord's church, they some of them act like this. Pastor wasn't like this. He was a genuine. The pastor was Nigerian. He was really, he was genuine. But the people that was around him, no. Some of them, no. He's the only one that would step out and come, and no matter, he really didn't care whether you were black American, white American, any other American. But I can't say about some of them fellow Nigerians because I can tell by the way they carry themselves. Even when we would do certain church functions. But they can shout down like any other people. They put on the fight, but you see someone got a little funky face on them and all that. And I'm like, And they didn't really embrace the American women, black American women. But yet they end up mostly in that part of Columbus, the east part of Columbus, is black. But there's white people over here too. But when they embrace the white people really well. But the black people, they just seem like, you can see it in their personality. And I was genuine. I don't have no hatred, no animosity. I come open, a pure heart in the Lord. And it was real. It's not phony and fake. And I thank the pastor because he really took time to give me some things and talk with some things. But some of the people who was around him, But they right now they about to find out what this really about. Because it's affecting everybody now. It's not just them, the Somalians, the Venezuelans, the Cubans. Oh, they're here in Columbus. And it's not just going after the Spanish-speaking people. They're going after everybody. See, it don't matter your status, your class, or who you know. You about to experience what white supremacy is. You about to see what the black Americans and what someone's been trying to tell you the whole time. You about to experience their laws. While you been doing, some of these people acting like this guy that had the nerve to say that about we contributed, it don't mean nothing. And if that was the case, that's a good question. Why did you run from your country and come over here? But now you got to go back to your country and build your country up. You ain't got no choice. Now you're seeing what Trump is really about. A lot of you. We told you. But you know, just that you're just like that person that wanted to be the first in line. You can push and move people and shove people out the way just to be first in line. But just because you be first, it doesn't mean you can scab and intimidate and get to the first line, but don't mean that you're going to get served first. And you just find, and some of you, with this ICE situation under Trump, some of them are finding out. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, when some people, and this don't affect everybody, but you have a certain amount of people that have this mindset. And now, and it had to be the Nigerians had to tell their people what's really going on and keep it real with them. So that's why I played that video first. So this coming from their mouth. But they about to get your butt up out of here. And even the ones that probably don't carry on like that, they're gonna see. You know, it ain't what you think in America. You know, man, you can have 10 white friends, 20 white friends. It don't matter. It's the government of white supremacy you need to worry about. And you're about to find out. You're finding out right. Some of you find out right now. So when you crap on other people to get to the top, now you say, hey, come back and help us. No. Remember, you're not us. You said it. Your arrogance showed it. Now you gotta live with it. But they're gonna find out. All right then, guys. Take care. Be blessed. See you on the next video.